Amelia was the sweetest, kindest, most honest, absolutely teddy bear person.
Such a lovely child. It's one of our model students. And we feel, such a tremendous loss, her passing.
On the morning of March 10th, there was a fatal motor vehicle accident in my constituency of Central Manchester. A promising young Victor Dixon High student, 14-year-old Amelia Willis, lost her life tragically, only a few chains from the school gate. This episode, we will probe what can be done to avoid this sort of occurrence in future.
Well, the preliminary investigations revealed that the 14-year-old student exited the vehicle just at the intersection of Mayday Road and Manchester Road. And the vehicle was proceeding to the town center. The taxi was proceeding towards the town center. When the child got off, she got off towards the embankment and then walked around the vehicle, that's towards the back of it. And it appears that she ran across the road. A vehicle heading towards NCU, that's leaving the town center and heading up out of town, picked her up, and on impact, she smashed the windscreen and then fell from that vehicle onto the bonnet of another vehicle going in the other direction.
When looking at the situation of the road, first there should be a real sidewalk, distinct sidewalk to say this is the way children should be left for going through to the school. And whoever taking them, whether parents or taxi men, they should never at any time leave. How could they leave children in the middle of the road?
I'd like to ask for that zone to be a 20 mile an hour or less zone. I would also love to ask for the powers that be to cause that little section going down to the intersection to become a 3-lane road and put a stoplight with a turning light there.
We believe if stoplights were installed, the school zone signs, the pedestrian crossing, the speed limit signs, it would be helpful.
You would have recognized that there is no sidewalk, no bus stops, no laybys, nowhere a vehicle can pull off properly from the roadway, and the road is particularly narrow. So there's no leverage, so to speak, for a vehicle and pedestrian to be moving at the same time. And therefore the recommendation would be for that side of the road to put something in place, maybe another bus stop on that side or a lay-by, sufficient enough for vehicles to properly pull off the roadway. I will recommend that we put traffic signals at that location.
We were averaging over 400 people each year. It came down to 260 in 2012. But ever since that, it has been going in the wrong direction. So last year we were 381. The year before it was 382. So we narrowly missed just being above the year before. For this year, we are doing fairly well. We are now 66 compared to 91 last year and 78 the year before. The former approach was that you developed vaccines, which are quote-unquote vaccines, which were designed by the United Nations. So you make sure that your people wear helmets, that people wear seat belts, they drive at relatively safe speeds, and that you don't drive under the influence of alcohol, which brought us to a certain level. But what they are saying now that there's a new philosophy that is being introduced. So in addition to the vaccines by the United Nations, there's a philosophy that now says that people ought not to die on your roads. Sounds very dramatic and profound and almost unattainable. But the basis for this is that if you create a road system where when people make mistakes, because they're going to make mistakes, it's not punished by death and injury, then you can achieve this. And the basis for this, the foundation for this is that you put in place safe speeds. For example, if you are having traffic in a built-up area where traffic is exposed to pedestrians. You ought not to have people driving at greater than 30 kilometers, not miles, kilometers per hour. And the basic physics is that anybody who is subjected to the kind of kinetic energy that's generated in a crash, the human frame cannot tolerate more than 30 kilometers per hour of energy, or the energy comes out of 30 kilometers per hour. The bottom line is that if you are committed to ensuring that nobody dies on the roads, then you have to take some drastic action. You have to make sure you have safe cars. So cars have to have airbags and the new electronics now that can help you to brake even when you don't see what is happening. You have to have safe road users, so therefore public education becomes a major thrust. So when you put all these things together, then you have a safe system approach.
As we've heard, the latest approaches to road safety rely not only on compliant drivers and pedestrians, but instead on intelligent design of the road that virtually prevents drivers from excessive speeding, for example, which is what leads to fatalities. So in the instant case, if we look at this shot from Google Maps, we will see that there's a long straight along Manchester Road here through the intersection with Mayday Road coming all the way up to the NCU Hill. This is a school zone. Victor Dixon High is here. Kids are being dropped off along the main to walk to school. We could have traffic signals at that intersection or a roundabout. But in the short term, even rumble strips or sleeping policemen could slow down the traffic and avoid future fatalities. NWA, it's over to you. Let's not lose any more of our children at this intersection.